When our team decided to move on with the SALT project, we might have had something else in mind, but very quickly we realized that we are working in a very fluid situation. We quickly realized that we have to move from the classroom setting and to meet refugees from Ukraine at the places where they were. So to us as a team it was very important not only that we deliver something that can be meaningful and helpful to the Ukrainian refugees, but also to learn ourselves through the process how to serve better.
Okay, so this is an observation, yeah? So they look like people.
On our visit to Vibrancy, the sculpture here in Cluj, we had a dialogue, about dialogue. We used art to start a conversation about misunderstanding and how we can create bridges and how we can have healthy dialogue. Towards the end, he posed the question, Vibrancy posed the question about if today, right now, right here, there was a Russian, what would you do? And we were, around his sculptures, a handful of Ukrainian families, mothers and daughters. And we can feel the heaviness of this question. But as one of the daughters was translating for her mother, we thought there was a misunderstanding or a language barrier. But the mother kept saying, I would tell them the truth. They don't know the truth. I want to help them, but I need to tell them the truth. I realized how important the truth is. And when an injustice is done to you, to be able to step into healing, the truth needs to be known. And the truth, sometimes we think it can be subjective, but it's not. There is one truth. It created a dialogue, and as we dug deeper and we took the time to listen to what this mother was saying, her own brother, who lives in Moscow, with whom she had a very close relationship, the moment the war started, he stopped communicating. He doesn't answer her calls. He pretends that she doesn't exist. And she's hurt, deeply hurt, not by a nation. This war created a rift between her and her beloved brother. And it is painful, possibly. He is also afraid for his life. Maybe he is persecuted. Maybe he is trying the best he can to protect his family. But we long for the truth to be known. And with listening and with sharing stories, coming together, being transparent, I think these are the first steps we can take towards possible reconciliation. Let's listen for the truth.
They started in 2001. So we're right in front of the border here, and we just said goodbye to our new friend Viorica, who proves to be a hero that nobody knows about, a hero who put her life on the line for the last almost 5 months, taking care of the refugees, empowering them, taking care of their wounds. You have heard of the story of the Samaritan, the Good Samaritan. Viorica is that kind of hero, that kind of person who does not shy away from lifting literally every single person who's on the sidewalk of this town, right on the border, and that included refugees, because she runs a center for people with special needs, for homeless people, and it was normal and natural for her to switch her attention and her care to the refugees.
Today we went to the bridge where there's been crowds and crowds of refugees coming across ever since February 24th, when the war started. Today we went to see where they used to have these toys lined up, so that the children who crossed the bridge on foot could come and collect toys as they went. And this started as a local initiative with one policeman, one guard, who thought this was a great idea. He went home to collect the toys of his kids and he put them there, and it became a movement. Everyone wanted to leave some toys for the kids there. So we went to see that, and we've heard a lot of stories, and we've been very much empowered and encouraged ourselves in the process of empowering and encouraging those who we meet.
In the first week of SALT, we traveled to Sighetul Marmației on the northern border of Romania. We met a family there who had left everything in Cluj, their careers and their community, to start an ecotourism business and to build houses and rent them out to tourists. But that was last year, and when the war started, they refocused everything to serve the families that needed places to live and to start over. So they offered those homes that they had built to families, and now they're starting a community instead of a tourism business.
When we entered Ukraine, one of the cities not far away from the Romanian border, although we were not expecting to see war there, and it was a reasonably safe area, nevertheless we were pleasantly surprised to see the vibrancy of life going on in the city. It still honors the curfew every night at 11 o'clock. People were enjoying life. They were walking, sharing time, families, children, friends, people going to restaurants, as if they were giving a message to the aggressor. We are not going to let you control our lives. It is there that we met some wonderful people who, although they have a very successful professional lives, they have completely dedicated themselves to helping displaced people from those parts of Ukraine that have been heavily hit. Let's hear one of them.
Mă numesc Rodica, locuiesc în Cernăuți, orașul Cernăuți din Ucraina.
My name is Rodica Alisionok, and I live in the city of Chernouts in Ukraine. Our region is quiet at this time, but not completely quiet since the sirens are going off often and people are getting confused. With God's help, we are doing what we can to help many displaced people who are here. We're helping many through the foundation we started. And thanks to the aid we are receiving from abroad from many of our friends, brothers and sisters who are standing with us.
Străinătate, de la toți prietenii, toți frații care sunt alături de noi, încercăm să
We are directing the humanitarian aid to the places where people have no food and have lost their homes. There are many people whose lives have been shattered and who are enduring immense suffering. We're about to deliver a humanitarian transport to Chernihov, where is being bombed at this time, and rockets are landing on the city, and people are still dying. Many are left without any help. Please pray for us so God would protect us and enable us to complete the task ahead of us. Thank you for supporting us, to all of you who are helping Ukraine one way or another. May God grant peace to everyone, and our prayer and wish are that this war may end soon, as it has been a source of much pain and has caused so many sacrifices. Thank you very much.
Rugăciunea noastră și dorința noastră este cât mai curând să se termine acest război care aduce atâta durere și atâtea jertfe. Fiți binecuvântați!
We are on our way out of Moldova in the second week of SALT, and I already feel that my already established love and appreciation for Moldovan culture and people and country has been enriched over the last couple of days that we spent in Chisinau, the capital of Moldova. We have encountered people, simple people who are doing their job, taking care of refugees. We have encountered people whose job is to take care of refugees, and to see how out of their very little they feed and they give to so many, and they host so many who have nothing or who have just lost everything. That touched me a lot.
I am at the spirit and the courage of some of these people who live in Moldova, in Chisinau, where we just visited. Some of the people who are most active helping the Ukrainian refugees also have people in their near family and friends who are actually pro-Russian. And these conflicts are so obvious once you step into the city and you start talking with people and you hear the differences in language, what language they choose to use, very intentionally. So we see these layers and layers of complexity with identity, nationality, pride, faith, everything that goes into this conflict that we're all in the middle of. Even if we're not in Ukraine, it definitely affects all of us. And it definitely affects this country that we're in right now. And I think we couldn't be at a better place in a better time.
While we were in Chisinau, we had the great opportunity of sitting down and having discussions with young people, the very new generation. And we had the opportunity to listen to them sharing about their dreams, their passions, their perspective for the future. And I'm so glad to tell you that there is hope for this land. As long as there are people who do not want to repeat the mistakes of their parents, they want their sustainable business, they want to educate themselves, they're actively looking for classes to take and to enrich their knowledge and their experience. As long as these people are being born and are taking their life in their own hands and they try to improve the quality of their lives and the quality of the lives of their friends from the same generation, there is hope.
And it might be as last time we traveled, it was as long as 15 kilometers. And I'm afraid this time is not any shorter.
We didn't come to Romania and Ukraine and Moldova just to teach. Our program also focused on listening and learning. When you go through such an experience for a couple of weeks, you will learn much, much more than what you would learn by simply observing, watching, following the media for months. And as we took our time to listen, we learned again how important it is to be one of them as much as we could. I remember the situation not long ago, a few days ago, when we were visiting a group of refugees, and something happened a day before we arrived, and there was tension in the air, distrust. And as we were meeting with a group of mothers from Ukraine, you could sense it, you could see it, you could feel it, that their body language was telling us, what are you going to tell us? And we spent 2 hours with them, gradually walking with them. We opened our hearts to them. And as we spent more time with them, they opened their hearts to us. By the end of 2 hours of our meeting with them, we were friends, mutually encouraged. And to me, this is a strong lesson about being vulnerable with the people who suffer.
Take up my hand, Talita Kum, and look deep into her father's eyes. He raised my hand, Talita Kum, for you I will not despise.
Hundreds of thousands of people have been hurt by the war next door. Many of them have crossed our paths, entered our homes, and many have settled in our city. We felt compelled to do something now. Every one of us carries some sort of burden, some hurt, some wounds, old wounds or fresh ones. As a society, we will thrive together if we learn to listen, validate emotions, and show empathy without an agenda, other than to love our neighbor. In our position of hosts, of mediators of sorts, speaking up is risky, taking a stand is not easy. But if we don't stand for something, we will fall for anything. We've also learned that soft teaching will harden hearts, but hard teaching will soften them. Our intention was to administer healing and share empathy, and our message was focused on hospitality, dealing with fear and hate, forgiveness, resisting nationalism, and the pursuit of friendship and truth. We tread lightly in the midst of the hurt we witness, while moving forward decisively, making ourselves available, standing in the light, even when it's uncomfortable.